Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking About Adaptability. Today we're going to Malaysia to Mr. Ronald Lee. Sounds great. Let's go. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our program again. Let's talk about adaptability. Our guest today from Malaysia, you just heard, is Mr. Ronald Lee. And just to kick off, what's the first thing that comes to mind if I say adaptability?
I think it's a very important skills in this very fast-changing world because things are changing so fast. So you need to get adapt to it fast as well, I believe.
That's a great opening line. Let's talk. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ronald Lee, and welcome to my show. First of all, you're from Malaysia.
Yes.
And you are. A couple of weeks ago, I had a session online, and you had a session how to tell a story in a Hollywood style. Is that your core business?
It's I call it cinematic visual storytelling.
Yes.
At the moment, it is my core business. I teach and I train people. I coach people how to construct and present their presentation in a storytelling way. Okay,
Yes.
using visual.
So using visuals also.
Yes, using visual, just like what you see in the cinemas.
Yeah.
Because visual is actually, an image actually paints 1,000 words, like, it is more memorable than just presenting with text, which is rather boring at the moment,
But the thing is, 10 years ago, was it also your core business? It is something from, I guess, the last 5 years or something.
No, not really. You see, actually, my this presentation concept, it's a kind of an evolution, over the years. Because about 30 over years ago, when I first got involved in the network marketing business, you start to do presentation, and those days when we do presentations without a computer, you have to use a slide projector, and you have to shoot your own slides, and actually it's going back, using back the good old days, but incorporating all those I would say techniques back into the PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, because what you see a lot in big conferences or meetings is that normally you had one TV at the side of the stage or on stage, but now you've got those giant LED walls of a sort of cinema screen. And as a speaker, I had it as a keynote speaker in Africa and in India, you're literally in front of your own cinema screen. So that is also a completely new world of telling a story on stage with a picture behind you.
Correct. You see, nowadays, because of the technology, why don't you make use of it? You cannot have your slide all in words, in text, and then you shoot up to a big screen. It will look very awkward.
Yeah.
You see.
And do people adapt? We have to talk about adaptability. Do people adapt enough? Because sometimes, a lot of presentations I see, a lot of PowerPoint presentations, a lot of, even the live venues have been gone for the last 2 years. But, I've been in the business for 26 years, and most of them were pretty boring, if I may say so. So there's a big mission for you. So how do you motivate people to work with visuals and to do it different, to make a change?
Actually, there are quite a number of people who are also doing this even before me. I mean, they are quite well known in the industries. what I did was I incorporate some movie kind of storytelling concept into the presentation, so that it's like, for example, in a movie, definitely you will find a protagonist, which is the villain. Then you will create some problem, then it will cause pain. Then,
Yeah.
of course, someone will have to come out with a solution, to fight back and things like that. And then when after you have got the storyline, then you have to look for appropriate images to put in your slide, and with the correct use of a minimum amount of text in the form of typography, okay, which is very commonly used in design. So your slides will become very, very attractive. And
Okay.
of course, the last part is the way you deliver your story, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not about the visuals. It's also about the storyline. Like a movie, most of the
Correct.
time there's a conflict, because if there's a conflict, you have to explain something, you have to take action, you have to do something. But if you have a business presentation, there's also a conflict if the turnover is not high enough, or the product
Yeah,
is
correct.
yeah. So, but I mean, what can you add for those people? I mean, how can you make them adapt to the idea that they have to use the scenographic way of presenting?
Basically, I think it's pretty easy. There are, in fact, there are quite a few big corporation. Like, for example, there's one company which is the largest soft drink company. All I did was I did a presentation for them. Immediately after that, they engaged me, because
Okay.
as you have also heard my presentation. The number one is the wow factor.
Yeah.
When you present your slide, you see your slide is supposed to help you to captivate your audience, not you, because they don't know you. Most of the time, they do not know you, your audience. So even though they may have heard you before, but they don't really know you well. So in order to help with if you are able to use slide, make sure the slides that you're going to present to them, they will help you to captivate your audience. You see,
Yeah.
I would say that is the wow factor, lah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And do you think that after the Corona time we had, people had to adapt to a new situation, to using the computer, to using the visuals, to using the Zoom screen, Teams, etc. That they will learn it quicker now than 2 years ago. Like I said, we all have to speed up our learning process because the world is changing very, very fast. Do you see some change in that? That because people had to work with the computer, the Zoom, the Teams, MS, etc., their own camera. Oh, don't look at the camera, and now people have to do it. Do you see some changes in that area?
Oh, oh yes, of course. Let's take for example, I myself, when I was, when the pandemic start, as a trainer, your income literally drops to zero, I would say. Correct.
Yeah.
So you got no choice. You got to think of a way to put it up online. But I can consider myself a bit lucky. Maybe what I'm teaching is so niched, or that people realize that their presentation actually sucks. They need some changes. So mine actually pick up very fast. And actually when it is online now, I find it even better than in the classroom. Of course, in when it's a person-to-person training, of course, there is more enthusiasm. You can see more, and then it's more exciting, to be frank. But when you start putting up online, after some time, you rather sort of get used to it. And in fact, online is good. If my program is not online, I wouldn't have known you.
No, that's right.
You
Yeah, it's
know,
also it's very interesting you say that you actually think that your online program now, because you've got 1-2 years experience in it, is even better than the live experience people have in the classroom. I mean, it's not what you heard often. Do you still When we go back to the time that you heard, well, okay, your income goes to zero, you have to adjust, you have to adapt. How did you do that? Because maybe we can learn something from it, because a lot of people still struggling with it, and the hybrid period will be there, and people will be working from home. So how did you cope with the problem? Like, okay, there is a problem, no income, and we have to adjust. Do you still remember what you thought? Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. You see, what I did was I very quickly I launched my program online. Everything I did my own, right? And I use social media, Facebook and LinkedIn particularly, and that's how I get people to attend my free training first. And of course, initially, because I'm not known online, not known, nobody knows me online, so I have to make my program very, very affordable.
Yeah.
And not only that, and I invite some of my trainers friend. I've got plenty of friends who are also trainers, and I told them, why don't you sit in and sort of listen, and at the same time, if you like my ideas, you can use it, and all I want you to do is to give me feedbacks.
Okay.
And because of that, they start promoting my programs for me. Okay?
So, but that's great. So you sort of created a momentum using your own network.
Correct.
Okay, that's interesting. For a lot of people who are watching, it's like you always have to start, and when you start something new, you always think,
Correct.
well, it might go wrong, or I don't have experience in that area, because you start something new. But this is a very wise thing to do when you go to the people in your first network, so your friend group, like you said, and you just ask them, well, join me right now, and just lift me up till the people think, wow, this is actually a great product, and maybe you can even raise your price or whatever, because then the word is out there.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Very good. And like in the beginning, I asked you, because my talk is about adaptability, and you said, well, the world is changing very fast. What do you think? What are the biggest challenges we are facing right now?
The biggest challenges is I find that, in fact, many of my friends who are staff or are business people, they are not comfortable for changes. They do not adapt and make changes quick enough.
Mm-hmm.
And in business today, whatever business you are doing, you have to be fast. If not, then you're going to suffer losses very quickly.
Yeah.
Because your income actually literally it just dropped down to zero.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that the biggest challenge, because we do not know, even though the vaccine is out, but we do not know when this is going to be back to normal. It may take another year, it may take another 2 years. But if you are not going to adapt and change, do you have enough finances to last through that 1 or 2 years? Which is very important, you see. You need to survive first, so you need to adapt. So this is one thing, and I find that many of my friends are still sticking to what they are doing. They are not willing to change.
No.
In today's, even without the pandemic, the world is changing very fast. You need to
Absolutely.
adapt. Long-term goals do not work anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it do not, because what you are aiming, okay, you may have big dreams, but your goals have to be short and small. You chew how to buy an elephant. You chew one piece at a time, a small piece at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So in today's long-term goal, I don't think it work anymore. You do small, take small steps.
And what do you think is the cause that some of your friends are not adapting well or changing fast enough? Is that because they are stuck in old habits? Is it because they are afraid of the new things? Is that because is it a lot of things? Of course, I mean it's not one, but can you just name one cause that we can all be inspired by? It's like or learn from.
One reason I think they are, changes is is not easy. It's easy to just mention the word change. Everybody know, change, but to really change, it is not really that. There are a lot of things you have to make sacrifices, I would say lah. So at the present moment, those people who actually make changes quick and adapt quick enough, those are the people who are doing well. In fact, to be very frank with you,
Yeah.
I am doing much better now than before the pandemic.
Wow.
I got two business also doing very well.
Great.
It's better than before the pandemic. Actually, before the pandemic, at one time I was still struggling. But because of the pandemic, I got no choice. I got to adapt. So it's about how fast you can change, I would say lah.
That's a great story.
Like for example, I give you another example.
Yeah.
I have never done my program online before. So the first thing is, I go to YouTube. I go and learn. I go and learn.
Yeah.
I have to buy a webcam. I have to buy a microphone. You have to be a bit professional because nobody see you. No. So I have to buy my lighting. I attended your talk. Okay, you talk about lighting. I already got. Then you talk about reflector. I quickly went in. I didn't buy. I go make because you teach me how to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the same what I did. Yeah. Everything we see now in this studio. I've been on stage for 26 years, and I had 4,500 live performances on stage. And suddenly, bam! I was sitting in my home, and the same as you. I didn't wait for months. I instantly thought, okay, well, I have to go out there, and I did something with camera, so it was not totally new for me. But this whole studio setup and the 4K cameras and everything I invested in, that made a change for me. That clients thought, wait a minute, this guy is still going on and he's still working. And even when the pandemic is closing, in the Netherlands it's going pretty well. It's not open yet, but there are some events, and so clients see that you're still on the job, and it's even more for you because you can be booked live, I guess, and if people in a company have an in-company gig, you will go there. But it's great to hear that you're even better online. that is amazing. Correct. Yeah.
In fact, yesterday I just received an email from Nick, who is also one of the VSAI members. Yeah. He is the president of the Rotary Club of New York. He sent me an invitation to give a talk for the club.
Wow.
You see, if not because of putting up online, I would not have known Dr. Mohammed. Dr. Mohammed invited me to talk in the VSAI. Then I would not have met Nick. I would not have met you. You see,
absolutely.
So when one door closes, not one door opens. Many doors.
A lot of doors. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. That's my studio manager. Most of the time, I forget a question. I've got a great studio manager. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah. Okay, I will. Thank you. Yeah. But I almost forget because you told your story how you did a great job in being better because of the pandemic. Can I say that the pandemic was a sort of wake up call for you, that you were actually doing your job and you were giving your training, and suddenly this pandemic is then, because of the panic, because of the struggle, you had to come out as a better human. Is that correct?
Partially, I would say.
Okay.
I have been adapted to changes for many years because I have done many things in my life. At one point in my life, when I have nothing to do, when Uber just came into Malaysia, I even became an Uber driver.
Okay.
And the money was good initially. I was curious, and I tried to adapt many things. And when the pandemic strike, of course, I cannot just sit at home and do nothing. So what I did was quickly implement what I want to do, and it just take off. That's it. So
Great.
I would say anything, if you have anything in mind, you don't have to think too much, because actually if you overthink, it will kill your idea. You just launch it. It doesn't matter.
And
I tell myself, even though I got one participant, I will still do it.
great. That's a great mindset. I love that. And like you said in the beginning, to close off, we are in a quick changing world, so we don't have the time to overthink everything. If you have an idea, just go out there, make a mistake, learn from it, and you know, and find coaches, find your network, find people who've been there before. So that was a great piece of advice. So to close off, Mr. Ronald Lee, can I ask you a personal question?
Of course.
Of course.
Even
Well,
if
for
not
that,
personal.
for that, I've got the wheel of questions, and the nice thing is that question number 1 is the most easy question, and question number 8 is the difficult questions, and I've got 8 questions from the octopus, because the octopus is my logo. I think that's a very intelligent animal. So let's spin the wheel. Are you ready for it? I cannot. It's not programmed. It is absolutely. Let's see. We are going over here, and it will be question number. Let's see it close. It's gonna be. Oh, that's gonna be a good number. Yes, question number 4. Question number 4. Let's see. Question number 4. Personal question. It's number 4. I just check it. Show it. What is your favorite animal?
That is a good question.
It is. But it's an easy question. Question number 4. And there are even 3 questions that are more easier. So, do you have a favorite animal?
Actually, I am not really a pet animal lover. But if you ask me this question, I think the animal that I would, if you ask me personally, which animal that I like best, I think it's the lion.
The lion. Well, that's not a pet for at home, but it's a beautiful animal.
You're
And
talking about every animal, huh?
it is. That's. I mean, I didn't say pet, because my favorite animal is an octopus, and I don't have an octopus.
Because lion,
Lion is beautiful.
resemble many things.
Absolutely.
Resemble leadership, courageous, trust. So many things.
It is.
I would say in life, we need, every one of us need to have a kind of a attitude or mentality as a lion in order to be tough in this ever-changing world, I would say.
It's not to bribe, but the national symbol of the Netherlands is a lion.
Is it?
Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Ronald Lee, thank you very much for your insight, for this conversation. I hope you have fun. I thought it was a great conversation, and I will speak to you later, maybe on stage or online. Who knows? Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you
Bye-bye.
very much for the interview. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. See you next time. Oi, oi.